What's going on, guys? How y'all doing? I ain't gonna lie, this was such a good game. A game that I'm not happy. I'm not happy that Brazil won because I had Japan winning. I was this close to winning $700. But yeah, guys, $200 gone. Just like that, man. But either way, congratulations to Brazil advancing to the round of 16, going out there and scoring the last minute goal against Japan. Compared to where last game where South Africa versus Canada was a bit of low quality shit game. Brazil versus Japan was actually a good game, guys. We saw loads of good quality from both players, right? We saw a lot of amazing moments. We saw amazing saves, especially from the Blackanese, Zion Suzuki, not Zion Williams. But I have to say, man, shout out to Brazil for advancing to the round of 16. They did what they had to do. I know that it was very tough for them to break down that low block against Japan, but they did a very good job being able to break down that low block against Japan, right? That low block that was very disciplined all throughout the first half and some moments here and there in the second half, right? But let's get into the game right now, guys. Let's get into the game. Ja- Brazil came out with a 4-3-3 formation, and Japan came out with a 3-4-2-1 formation, which is Japan trying to switch to a back five and also being able to switch in while also being able to use the width of the pitch, using the wing backs to stretch the midfield of Brazil and having the two center midfielders, which is Sano and Kamada, occupy that middle space, right? Very, very interesting when you guys look at it, right? Because in the first 20 minutes of the game, prior before Japan scored that one goal, first 20 minutes of the game, I would say that Brazil was the better team. Brazil was crossing the ball in. They were doing their very best to break down the low block and dominate the ball possession, right? Getting the ball inside the box. Unfortunately, I at that point, I have to give credit to Japan. Japan defensively, they were very sound. They were locked in, very disciplined. Not allowing a whole lot of mistakes happen. Zion Suzuki, to me, was one of the best players for Japan. Unfortunately, it's not going to look that way because he made some good saves prior before Japan even scored a goal. And even when Japan scored a goal, he still made some amazing saves. So I think Taniguchi was solid. Sano, Kamada was very good. And then the next thing you know, right? Danilo lost the ball. Sano had the ball and ran for a good while. This guy was running right in the middle of the pitch on challenge. No one got to him. No one challenged him, bro. And even when Casemiro got to him, Casemiro was already on a yellow. So there was nothing much that he could do. And the next thing you know, he was like, hey, why not just shoot it? This brother shot the ball and bang, bottom left corner, it's a goal. Brazil knew, Japan won. And after that was such a beautiful goal, man. I almost lost my voice, guys. I jumped out of my seat celebrating because I was like, this is it. This is what I love to see, man. Right? It's very sad that Japan had to meet Brazil because I do believe that if there was any other team, maybe against, I don't know, maybe against Bosnia or, you know, Canada, South Africa, Japan without a doubt would have made it into the round of 16. Just very unfortunate. Then the next thing you know, I think Japan did a good job controlling the game, at least up until halftime, and that was very good. And then in the second half, it just went, shit just went down, guys. It just went down for Japan, bro. The thing with Brazil is that even though Brazil, when they're on the ball, they're very good. But when they go up against a very good quality team defensively, in my opinion, they're very poor. Yes, they have Gabriel, they have Marquinhos, they have Allison at goalie, but there's still moments where like the midfield don't know how to defend without the ball. Casemiro was very poor in that first half. Yes, he scored a goal. He almost scored two goals in the second half, but in that first half, he was very poor. I mean, if you guys watch the game, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, right? A guy of his experience conceding an early yellow card, right? While also allowing Japan to have an opportunity to score because of that yellow card and because he was in the middle of the pitch and he could not do anything because he was on a yellow, right? It was very, very poor. Danilo to me was also poor in that first half as well. I would say Bruno G and Pequeta was very solid, right? But then again, that was how it went down in the first half. Second half came, and I'll be honest with you guys, I saw Vinicius Jr. playing amazing. Ryan, the right winger for Brazil, 19 years old, he was so solid as well. I mean, Paqueta, whew, my goodness, man. After this performance I saw from him, without a doubt, Arsenal will do everything it takes to get to him. Now, here's the thing, guys, about Japan. Japan don't have Minamino. They don't have Kubo, right? They have guys who are injured, which is very, very unfortunate. I feel like Japan did not have the most creative players with them. So Japan had no choice but to play disciplined low block. Now here's the thing when Japan is sitting so deep. When the Blue Samurai is sitting so deep, right? It allows Brazil to dominate ball possession and have chances over and over and over and over and over and over again. It was really frustrating being on the wanting Japan to win the game. You sat so deep. And here's the thing, right? Brazil has tall players that can go out there and find a way to head the ball. So what was Brazil doing? Brazil was just crossing the ball. They were just crossing the ball, looking for opportunities for guys inside the box. They will overload the box and have Gabriel cross the ball in. They have Paqueta, Vinicius, Danilo. These guys will just cross the ball in, hoping for some guys to get their head to it. Casemiro almost scored the two goals, man. He almost scored two goals. First goal attempt was blocked, a nice save by Taniguchi, and a nice block by Suzuki. But eventually, what do we expect? Brazil came coming again, crossing the ball inside the box. And at the far end of the post, Casemiro jumped up, had the ball in, man. Rent it went right past Suzuki hand and bang, Brazil won, Japan won. Not really like I kept saying this, like, okay, we all knew that Brazil eventually was gonna score. The problem was, can Japan find a way to keep this game down to penalties? Or can they at least find a way to hit Brazil on the counter attack to score a second goal? There were moments where Japan was very good on the counterattacks. Unfortunately, it did not, it went nowhere. And if we're really going to be honest, like Japan didn't really test Allison like that. Let's be honest. Suzuki got more tested than Allison did for Brazil, right? I'm looking at how many saves did Allison have? Allison had only one save, which was probably nothing too crazy. And Japan only had 5 shots, two on target. Japan had 5 shots, two on target. Brazil had 19 shots, seven on target. 35 touches in the opposition box. Like, come on. This is the round of 32. You're not going to win much when you try to seek too deep. And that's what costed Japan. Now, when Japan believed that they might finally get to extra time, right? At the 95th minute, Martinelli, who came on for Cunha, I think Cunha was very poor in my opinion. Cunha was very, very poor. Martinelli was filling up into that number 9 role. Bruno G came in, had the ball, played some 1-2 with Fabinho, gave the ball over to Martinelli, and bang, bottom right corner. It's a goal, 2-1 at the 95th minute. I was pissed off, guys. I was pissed. I lost my shit. But what can I expect, man? It was a very nice breakdown. The way Brazil was able to break down that low block, that stubborn, disciplined low block, they broke it down and gave the ball to Martinelli to score that second goal was actually amazing. It was a thing of beauty. And here's the thing, Brazil has more qualities coming off the bench. They got players that can do damage. They got players that can do something. And that was what we saw. We saw the subs of Brazil coming in and changing the game. Endrick came in with his lightning speed, stretching out the low block, breaking down the low block. Danilo, a midfielder. You had Fabinho, who doesn't have the pacing, in my opinion, but still came in and did some damage. Still did some nice 1-2 right there. You have Martinelli with fresh legs, right? Everyone was asking where's Neymar. I'm gonna let you guys know. Look, Carlos Ancelotti is not gonna risk playing Neymar in when Neymar has no legs. Like you guys keep on saying, bring on Neymar. What the fuck is Neymar gonna do? With what legs? Huh? Come on now. Let's be serious out here, bro. The guy is there for PR. He's there for to make Brazil money, to fill up the seats for the fans to come watch Neymar play. That's what Neymar is there for, man. He is not a tactical chess piece for Ancelotti to win a game for Brazil. Okay? Let's get that fucking clear, man. Get that shit in your fucking head, please, man. Tired of motherfuckers talking about Neymar. The fuck is it gonna do for Brazil, bro? Right? There are better players on the bench that will have more impact, bro. Igor Thiago, Henderson would do better jobs than Neymar. Luis Enrique would do better job than Neymar. So please, let's get that shit done with, bro. Motherfucking Neymar ain't gonna do shit. I feel so sorry for Japan. I wish that Japan had won this game. Japan has never necessarily gone far in their history. They're always being stopped at the round of 16, but it's a 48 team now, and now they get stopped at the round of 32. So to me, when I look at Japan and I look at the way the football infrastructure, and I say I have no issues. I have no worries for Japan. I think Japan is going to do so well. I think Japan is moving in the right direction. They just have to keep on developing the players, and hopefully some of the most creative players like Mino, Mitoma, what's his name? Kubo. Hope those guys are healthy, you know. But unfortunately, by the time the next World Cup comes, they're gonna be up there in age. So what's gonna happen then, right, guys? What's gonna happen? Now here's the thing. If I remember correctly, Brazil is either gonna go up against Norway or Ivory Coast, and that's gonna be a very good game, guys. That is gonna be a good game. Norway versus Ivory Coast. I hope you guys are excited about that. Now, I wonder who you guys think Brazil's going to do well against, though, right? But anyway, that's what I have to say about this game. Shout out to Brazil advancing to the round of 16. Now they're going to be waiting for Ivory Coast, either Ivory Coast or Norway. And very big shout out to Japan for giving such a fight, man. Unfortunately, this is what happens when you're sitting in too deep and you're allowing Brazil to dominate ball possession too many times, man. Appreciate you guys. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.